Howdy everybody, it's Amy here with Amy's Sparkly Diamond Painting and Cross Stitch, and I have a Diamond Dots unboxing to do for you today. And you may recognize this box as one of their Masterclass kits. Now they started with Masterclass kits, it was maybe a year ago, and you hadn't seen one on my channel before, and that's because I tried really hard to buy one, but I just could not. So I did not post any of those on my channel. There were two reasons why I couldn't buy any from the first round. The first was the price tag. It was really high. Most of them were running $200, which it's a very nice set, so you get more than the usual for that price, but I just couldn't justify that because I didn't like any of the artwork that they had. So if you're going to spend $200 on a diamond painting, you really need to love it. And I tried 3, 4, 5 times. I went to their website because I really wanted to try the micro dots. That was what was intriguing me about these kits. But I tried, but I could not convince myself to buy one of the original ones because price tag, and I didn't like the artwork that they had available. So this week, or last week, I got a message from Diamond Dots that they released new Masterclass kits. So I thought, well, maybe I can do it this round. And obviously, because of what's in front of me, I did. So this time I noticed a couple things. The price went down on these. I think they had a hard time selling them for the price that they were offering. Now they have some as low as $75, which is about the going rate for a premium diamond painting without all the extras. So that makes it a little bit better deal. But they also had one piece of art that was intriguing to me because they had, I own the original kit from Diamond Dots. So it's one that they've done before, and I have the original, and I was curious about the difference between the premium and the original. I wanted to pull out the original for you today, but it's buried and I'm still mostly one-handed. So I will work on this a little bit and at some point pull out the other one to do a full comparison. But you'll see in a minute. I'll talk about it when I open it. But the deal with these Diamond Dots Masterclass is they come in a really fancy box, and they come with a lot of extra goodies. At least the first round did. They were kitted up in bottles and had several different tools and just a little bit more to the box and everything. And if you're not into boxes, it probably wasn't a big deal to you. I'm not into boxes so much. I don't plan on traveling with this anywhere, but I was intrigued by the mini dots or the micro dots, and that's the only company offering them and the only way to get them. So we're going to take a look at this kit. I'm sure you're curious which one it is. I already pulled off the plastic to make this easier on me. I also pulled off the tape here that was on both sides. I probably should have just cut the tape because, as you can see, it did create a little bit of a tear there on the gold covering on the box by peeling it off. So next time, or if you get one of these, I recommend cutting with a knife to get that to open. Now I'm not a Diamond Dots affiliate in any way. They don't do that. So I purchased this with my own money, but I do subscribe to their rewards program for discounts and points and all that. So there are some options there to get some discounts. So first off, you'll notice this nice handle on the box, so you can take it places, but it is a really pretty, really sturdy box. And they do give hints in several languages of what's included in the kit, and you can see there the image. It is Woman in Gold by Gustav Klimt is the image I picked, and that's because I own the original. And there were some issues with the original, that's why it's not done yet, but it had some really neat special diamonds. But the face and hands of the lady in the image was not diamond painted. So Diamond Dots does a lot of partials. And with the lack of detail available for the my throat is all itchy, but there wasn't enough detail available for pixel art to do the hands and face. So what they opted to do on the original is just print it without allowing you to diamond paint it. So the face and hands were just printed. Well, because of the micro dots, this one does not have it printed. It is full coverage, and so you use the micro dots to give the details for the face and the hands. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But I was curious about how many special diamonds come in this one, because there were a ton of special drills in the other one, which is what intrigued me. But I'm not so sure that's the case here with this one. So I think they did indeed make some changes, but because I wanted to do the original one, I figured this would be a good one to do. I'm tearing the box. So do be careful when you open your box, but I'm trying to do it one-handed here. So what we have inside, we'll see if they made changes this time around to lower the price, and it looks like indeed they did. So if I remember right, because I watched some of those videos as I was trying to decide if I should do that or not, they had a 2-layer storage system, and it came kitted up. I'm gonna have to get in the way here. I may edit this part out, but so my struggle there is related to not having enough strength in this hand. But this one is not kitted up. So I do see metallic and sparkles in there, so that's a good sign. But I'm not sure it has, oh, maybe it does, because I see some larger ones, but the original had like sliver drills, long rectangles, all sorts of neat diamonds. And this one does indeed, just on first look like there are some really cool diamonds in there. But this doesn't have the bottles in it and the kitting up that the first version did. So this is our diamond painting canvas. It is in a fancy bag there. But there is only one thinner tray here, so that's how they're making them more affordable, is that they remove some of these supplies and things that came with the first set. So let's see what we have here. We have this, which looks a little bit, sorry, let's see if she stops. Okay. Looks a little bit confusing, but I saw it when I looked at the contents. So they don't list all the special drills, so you don't know until you get into it. But that cardboard thing, let's see if I can find it here, because I'm not completely sure. It's some sort of holder. So it's called a tray stand. Okay, I got it now. So we'll have to build that and see how that works. But they gave us a cardboard tray stand. I believe it holds 4 trays, because that's what they gave us. And here is 4 trays. So you can have 4 colors going simultaneously while you work on this. And I see baggies in here. Instead of the kitted up filled bottles, we have baggies. We do have what looks like a sticker sheet. Why don't we just open this up here? There we go. So in order to make them affordable, they did have to cut some corners. And this is probably based on the videos that they watched from the unboxings and everything. This is how they decided to cut it down. So we do have sticker sheets here. And these are cut. So I'm looking at these. I see lots of M's. So we do have several special diamonds and several micro dots. So if I'm reading this right here, the first 2 rows plus these 2 are regular diamonds. And then we have diamonds here that start with the letter M. So it looks like quite a few colors here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it looks like 13 different colors of micro dots. So this really was a good choice for me to test out the micro dots. Then we also have all these other codes here. I believe all these will be our different special diamonds. So quite a few of those as well. So I am pretty excited to see this. So it's okay that there are no bottles here, that it's not already kitted up. I can deal with that for the better price. But we do have 4 trays in here. We have some multi-placers of various types and a separator, or not a separator, a straightener tool here. And their multi-placers are the regular clear plastic ones, but we do have a few of those. And we have a couple different types of tweezers because I'm guessing for special diamonds, I prefer to use tweezers if they have any sort of coating. I use tweezers for my ABs. The glitter drills or micro glitter mica drills, I will use a regular diamond painting tool for that, but anything else I will use tweezers. So we have the straight and the curved. And let's see what this is. This looks like a curved diamond painting pen here. And then we have a special pen here. This is the one for the micro dots. It is a smaller end here so that you can pick up the micro dots a little bit easier. And that's where the squishy is, but of course you can move the squishy around. And then I think the original had like a pen with a diamond or a jewel, a plastic jewel, not real diamond, on the end. This one is a gold pen. It's very, very light. So it feels like this one, very lightweight, but maybe a little bit wider than a regular diamond painting pen. And this area right here is rubbery. So it's a little bit of a better grip there. Hopefully you can see that. So that's kind of cool. And then we have one of the standard Diamond Dotz pens that you can, there's a jewel that you can, a little bitty one, that you can buy if you buy some of their accessory kits. You'll get one of these. And again, it has that same rubbery grip around it. So just like the gold pen, only white. And it does have the jewel at the end. So a couple little different types of pens. Then we have our wax. Here we have 2 containers of the wax here and a couple pads, looks like maybe 3 in each one. So definitely plenty of wax there to finish a diamond painting. Of course, I don't use wax, I use glue dots or putty typically. And then 2 more trays here. So that is what you get. I'm going to keep this out because we may need to refer to this. But I'm curious also about this tray holder. So a lot of board games come with things to assemble, like dice towers and stuff like that. So let's check out what this is like. Okay, it is like really thin cardboard maybe, but it's got this texture on it that feels like linen. So it does have a neat little texture to it. We have 4 pieces like this, and then we have 2 pieces like this. Maybe there are, nope, there's only 4 because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe there's one more underneath. But what I see is this. I think we can figure this out. Oh, it does say front, side, top. Let's see, top. Nope, bottom level there. Okay. So it's not the sturdiest thing in the world. Let me get the top and the bottom on there. I'm sure you don't want to sit here and watch me build. Oh, there are 5. Okay, 2 were stuck together. That's why that one's so thick. Okay, there were 5 slots, so there should have been 5 trays. I pushed it too far before getting the other end here. So we'll secure the top and the bottom if we can. Okay, there we go. A little bit gimmicky here, but still interesting. So we can slide these in. You get the idea. Here. And try to get it into the slots there. Ow. Trying to push without hurting my hand. So that's good enough for the moment. So you can get the idea of how this is going to stand up and how that's going to be as a tray holder. So you can slide your trays in there. Plenty of room, actually, for that. So let's see. Yep, you could fit your own trays that are wider in there too. But I typically either go all in with the trays or not at all. So doing 4 at a time, I don't know, it might be useful. This is actually the easiest way to put this together. So we will go ahead. It's more sturdy the more you get in there and the easier it is to build. So that is our little tray holder. Interesting. Okay, so that's what the extras are, and that's how they lowered the price, is that they don't have the bottles in there. So let's take a look at our canvas, because that's where I can talk about the micro dots and maybe how they are the same as what we do for cross stitch for high detail. So let's see if we can get this open. So this is a nice satiny bag, very good for storage, and it does come off pretty easily, which is a good thing for me right now. And we do have these scalloped edges and all that, but this is not a soft canvas on the back. This is the scratchy material, although it is pretty thick. And I think that's pretty common with diamond dots. So I'm going to try to make some room here. And let's see if I can unroll it. So this is going to be a very large canvas. So we'll get to the front there. Okay, so it was rolled around styrofoam, which if you're worried about waste, these are actually useful. So this one doesn't quite have a hole in the middle, but I use pool noodles. I cut a slice in them and set them at the edge of my table so that if I am working on a diamond painting that has to go over the edge, it rolls around this softly instead of a really square edge of a table, so that way if you lean forward on the canvas it won't mess that up. So you can actually use those. And it looks like a ton of stuff in here. But here is the image, and here's the deal with the micro dots. In the original, they did not have, like I said, the face or hands done as diamond painting. There were no symbols. It was just printed on the canvas and you didn't work that. Now, all of this here, the skin and everything, is micro dots, and that's why there are so many colors there, because her entire face, the eyes, the lips, and everything there are micro dots. So we're gonna see if I can, that might be easier to do this with the camera, to zoom. There we go. So you can see the full size diamonds here on the outside, and then the face with the tiny dots, so that all the detail will come through relative to the size of the image. So that's good to see. The whole thing is diamond painted instead of having that weird area of just printed canvas in the middle. Now they do print the edge there, which is nice as well for framing, so you can have a little bit of an edge there. But looks pretty cool. Hard to tell at this point where all the special diamonds are, but it looks like there are some spots, like here in the middle of some of the let me zoom back out. I looked and saw my giant hand, but like here, some of these shapes, you can see they have special diamonds there in the middle. So that's good to see, because that was why I liked the other one so much. But the idea with the micro dots, or say mini stitches on cross stitches, is that in order to get the detail there, you need more squares. And in cross stitch, what you do is typically, if you're working on linen, say doing a mermaid or some of the Nora Corbett's or Mirabilia images, there are several out there if you speak cross stitch, where you stitch the whole thing except for the skin is done with mini stitches. So you stitch over 2 threads using 2 strands. So that's why if you listen to cross stitch videos, they're talking about 1/2, 2/2, 2/1, all that. What they're saying is number of threads and that you stitch with, and then number of threads that you stitch over. So 2/2 means they're using 2 threads of floss to stitch over 2 threads of linen. Now 1/1 means they're using only 1 thread of cross stitch and knitting over 1 tiny thread in the linen, which means that for every full size cross stitch you get 4 mini stitches out of it, because it'll be 2 threads with 4 intersections there. You'll get 4 mini stitches if you do over 1 thread. So it looks like with the mini dots, they're not quite that small. So you won't get 4 mini dots per every 1 larger dot. It looks like maybe half size. So maybe it's a 2 or some sort of ratio where maybe, yeah, a square of 4 would be maybe 2. No, maybe they have to, I don't know exactly, but it doesn't look like 1/4 of the size of the bigger dots, because that would be really, really tiny. But in any case, what we do is for those that didn't need that long cross stitch related explanation, basically they're smaller so you can get more dots in the area to give more resolution to the image. But they didn't do it for the whole thing, obviously. That would be a ton, but there are quite a few of the mini dots here throughout the skin here. So her neck area, her hands, and her face, those are all going to be mini dots, which is a part I was mostly interested in, as well as the possibility of special diamonds for this image. So I'll see if I can zoom out a little bit more so you can get the full feel for this one. I didn't tell you the size. I was hoping it was printed on here. I know it's on the box, but I'll just scroll across here. There it is, 67 by 91 centimeters, or 26 by 35.8 inches. So the whole fabric size on this one is 75 by 99 centimeters. So it's pretty big. Let's see what came in here. Here's the advertisement for their Masterclass ones. So this side looks like the images from their first go round. So I wasn't really into horses. And the kitty one was kind of cute, but not for the price. Yeah, another horse. The Tree of Life, a lot of brown in there. I wasn't too interested in it. A couple nice ladies here, and they had there she is. The woman with the pearl earring, and a lot of black boring background on that one, so I wasn't really interested in that one either. But the new ones they came out with, and both of these down here I think are only $75 here. The hummingbirds intrigued me, but I wanted to get this one first. But I may, if this is successful, look at these, because they're $75 I believe without discounts, but they do offer discounts and sales. But the hummingbirds are done with the microdots, so that you get more detail there on the hummingbird. So those two intrigued me. And then of course we have Woman in Gold, we have The Last Supper, and I'm not sure where the microdots are on that one. I'd have to look a little bit closer. I think they have it on the website. And that one is 134 by 67 centimeters, so it's a big one. And then they have the Kiss, but I'm not a personal fan of that piece of art. So, but I do like Lady with the Fan and the Woman in Gold, but there's something about that image that I just don't like. So that is their collection right now. But there's a lot here. Okay, we've got some release paper here. That's pretty thick. So I don't know if that will cover this whole thing, but there is a bunch of it. And then this looks interesting, because this is one of their color things that I've bought one of these before on Amazon. So they give this to you for free. Now in here it shows all their different colors, and they have an index on the back here to, I believe, DMC. Let me put my cheaters on here so I can see, because one of the issues with Diamond Dots is that they use their own numbering system there, and they don't match DMC numbers. But I see an index back here. Nope, those are not DMC numbers, but I have purchased one of these before on Amazon. It's just an index to where you'll find various colors on there, so it shows row and position rather than a DMC number. But you can kind of compare DMC numbers to that, but you may find that helpful. And I'm not sure, we've got some neon colors. I guess it's everything they use, because there's some gold colors as well. So interesting. So that came with it. I thought this felt pretty thick. And then their instructions, they give a ton of instructions in a lot of languages. So that's contained in all of their kits typically. And then we have this, which talks about their new weave technology fabric, mini dots. And become a member, and their website and all that. I am a member, so I do get discounts and emails from time to time. So you can check that out. So that's what was in there, but what we really want to see probably is this. So it's going to be a little tricky, I think, to kit up the mini dots, because if I remember right, they were pretty staticky from the videos that I saw for unboxings with the first round. So we'll have to take a look. Okay. So let's see what we got here. This string is intriguing to me. So this is A22. This is a gold. And we have 5 bags of it. Those are all the same color. And you can see the sparkles. So those are definitely sparkly, and we have a ton of them. Let's see, A22 is a check mark symbol. It is all throughout the background here. So I see check marks all throughout there, and a lot in the dress as well. So this thing is going to be full of gold. And then we have the other regular colors here, a lot of darker colors for the details and designs in the dress. So let's see what else I can find here. Ah, yes, it looks like they do have all of the same special diamonds. Maybe not in the same amounts, but I do see all of the special ones that were in the other one here. So we have the circles here, medium rounds. We have some silver, larger rounds. We have some black. We have some large blue ones there. And then we have the little slivers or rectangles that I was curious about. So we have several of those. We have these smaller ones here that are gold. We have this blue color here that's quite large. Hopefully the glare's not too bad. It is pretty bad. Maybe I'll tilt the camera here so you can, or tilt the light here, and then some really large gold ones. So they do indeed have lots of different special diamonds in this one. So this thing is going to sparkle. Now let's see if we can find the mini dots here. And these look pretty small. Maybe. Let's see. A25. That should be... maybe not. Looks like the minis start with number 27. So there's something different there. That's a silver. And even these look a little different. There's a lot of unusual things here. These are pearlescent here. This color A25 there, that's got a pearlescent sheen to them, and we have 2 big bags of that. A24 is actually a pearlescent yellow, and we have a pearlescent orange there. Okay, these are all interesting. Okay, these are where the mini dots start. There's A27. I'm not sure I can zoom in enough to where you can see how tiny they are. Hopefully, there you can when they're spread apart there. There's A28. And this is why you need a special pen. They get lost in a regular diamond painting pen. And they'd be hard to pick up with tweezers. There's A29. Teeny, teeny, tiny A30. A31. Lots of different colors of those. Now I'm curious what else is hiding in here. Okay, these look like regular diamonds. Lots of yellows and browns. I see more things hiding in here, so that looks like black. Yeah, 310 or A1. They're color coding. Some grays, more yellows. So those are all standard. What is this? These are more tiny ones here. So we got teeny tiny yellows, reds because of the eyes and the lips. That's what all these colors are. There's a peach color. Very, very sparkly for being so tiny. And some dark colors, off-white. Just little bits of that one. Not very many. And little bits of the red. So that may be it. I laughingly say that may be it for the special drills, because obviously that's a ton. So yes, these are standard drills with the browns in there. So that is what the master kits look like now. So you don't get the bottles, but we all have some of those. They were quite generous with the colors here of the mini diamonds, which is cool to see, but also they snuck in several other special diamonds here that I wasn't even expecting, with the pearlescent colors and the silver. Those are just really stand out. And the tons and tons of gold with this one. So this time, I feel like I got my money's worth for the price. I don't need the bottles, but I did really want the special drills, and I did want a chance to try the mini dots. And with the release papers and the stickers here, and the really nice bag, and this tray holder, kind of gimmicky, but maybe it'll work for you. Maybe you like that. You can maybe get together with a few friends that are ordering them and get one from them if they don't want them, and turn it into maybe 12 tray holders. But we also, of course, have the bag here, the fancy box, and all the different pen choices for this. So I think they did a good job with this one. I did not think that with the first round. I thought there was a lot of stuff that you really didn't need that you were paying extra for. So I'm happy with this, and I'm intrigued enough that probably my next purchase may have to be one of the hummingbird kits, because those looked really cool the way you have the detail with the hummingbird. So that means that I may have another Woman in Gold, the original, to get rid of somewhere, which I'd have a hard time selling that one. And if anybody's curious, I do not get on the D-Stash groups and sell anything. It's been a long time, but I did do a few purchases on D-Stash kind of early on, because I wanted a few mystery kits, because I hadn't done one of those before, and they sell out. They don't reprint those. So I did purchase, probably more than a year ago, maybe close to 2 years ago, a couple of mystery kits on the D-Stash, but I've never sold any. Don't plan on doing that either. It's a lot of work, and the boxes and the shipping, you don't make any money doing that. You only recover some of your purchase by doing that, because they really won't sell unless you give them a discounted price, unless they are a unicorn kit, which I don't have any unicorn kits. I'm quite satisfied with what I have. There's nothing out there that I haven't been able to pick up that I really want. So I don't worry about the D-Stash group, so I'm not going to put my original Woman in Gold on a D-stash, but I think that was originally like $89, $90 for that kit. But I will try to find a good home for it because this one makes up for all the deficiencies I saw with that original. So really happy with this. And I like the price tag better than the first round of Masterclass kits because you're not paying for extra cardboard and bottles. They did find a way to make the parts that we don't care as much about much cheaper to lower the price. So what do you think? Are they cool? I know that there are probably a lot of Last Supper Da Vinci fans out there, so that one might be, let's see, instructions. Here we go. We'll go back to this. So the Last Supper might be worth taking a look, and of course Mona Lisa. So it may be the faces there that they put the mini dots at. That'll probably be a really large kit, so that one will be a little bit pricier because just from the size there, that's probably going to take a lot of mini dots. But some really interesting imagery there. Again, we'll look at this one they had before, but those are a lot of the new ones. And there may be, I don't remember there being that many horses on the first one. I think these two, maybe, or maybe just this one. But there's more images to choose from. So check them out. But if you do, go ahead and join their Diamond Dotz membership, and you can get some discounts and earn some points, and that'll make them even more affordable. And you'll also get the emails for when they have new things or sales going on. So, but one last time, I'm not an affiliate with Diamond Dotz. I paid for this with my own money, but I just want to share with you what's out there and available. So check it out, and I'll get back with you sometime in the future with an update on this one. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, liking, all those good things that help our channels out and give me an opportunity to purchase some of these things so you can see them before you buy them. And if you have anything out there that you're curious about, let me know in the comments and I can take a look and maybe purchase, maybe not, maybe depends on what my spidey sense says about the company. But feel free to ask and I will see what I can do. So thanks for watching, thanks for supporting me, and I'll catch you later.